Hello students, welcome to the class of Sonia Munjal. In this session, you will learn about the key functions of the parliament in a democracy. In the first video of this chapter, I told you that the Parliament of India is the symbol of Indian democracy. It represents the faith that the people of India have in the key democratic principle. So, Parliament is the symbol of Indian democracy because it is the representative body of the people. So, through this video, we are going to study the role of the Parliament, the functions which are being performed by the Parliament. Role of the Parliament. Parliament in our system has immense powers, great powers, because it is a representative body of the people. It represents the people, it represents the nation. And in this way, it is also the supreme law making body in the country as well. We know that people choose their representatives through elections. Elections to the parliament are held in a similar manner as they are for the state legislature, means in the same way as we are choosing our MLAs in our state, like in Haryana, like Haryana is our state. So in Haryana, when we choose the MLAs, in the same way we participating in choosing the MPs. MPs means members of the parliament. And for such elections, means we know that people can choose their representatives through elections, but how election take place? For this, the country is divided into numerous constituencies. Now, what are constituencies? We know that it can be you can see in this map also that the entire in India is divided into the small areas. Now, these small areas are actually the constituencies, and from one constituency, suppose Karnal is one of the constituency, and from the Karnal, the members from the different political parties can contest the election. And being the adult citizens of the Karnal, we are supposed to give vote in favor of one candidate so that he can win the seat, so that he can become the MP from the Karnal constituency. So in this map, the entire map is divided into the 543 constituencies, out of which 412 are for the general, 84 are for the scheduled caste, and 47 for the scheduled tribes. Now this constituencies of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are reserved constituencies, and from these constituencies the member who are belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes only can contest the election. So I hope that the concept of constituencies are clear to you now. So from each constituency, one member is elected to the parliament, and to the parliament, and more precisely to the Lok Sabha, because Lok Sabha gives the representation to the people. Clear? So each person belong to different political parties and they can contest for the election, and the elected representatives to the parliament are known as members of the parliament. Clear? So this is just the beginning of the role of the parliament. Now this map is also clear to you. This is just for showing the constituencies, how the India is divided into the various constituencies. Like the total seats in the Lok Sabha at present, the total seats in the Lok Sabha are 545. But out of 545, only the 543 constituencies are there, and rest too it will be clear in the next slides. Now the role of the parliament. Being the representative body of the country, there are certain functions that the parliament performs. like to select the national government, to control, guide, and inform the government, and law making. Let's study these functions in detail. The first one, it is the key function of the parliament, that is to select the national government. कि national government select कैसे होती है. Now we know how the election take place. Direct elections are there, in which people are supposed to choose their representatives to cast their vote in favor of one candidate so that they can become the MP or a member to the Lok Sabha. Now after the Lok Sabha election, question arises, who will make the government? इलेक्शंस हो गए लोकसभा के, डिफरेंट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के एमपीज बन गए. अब ये सवाल आता है कि गवर्नमेंट कौन बनाएगा, क्या क्राइटेरिया है गवर्नमेंट बनाने का. नाउ आफ्टर द इलेक्शन लिस्ट इज प्रिपेयर्ड showing how many MPs belong to each political party. Like suppose Bharatiya Janata Party has 282 MPs, Indian National Congress has 100 MPs, like this. So list is prepared of the MPs, which shows that the different MPs belong to which political parties. So after this the result will come and it shows that which party have the majority of MPs. किस पार्टी के पास मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ MPs हैं, and only that party form the government. So in order to form government, a party must secure majority of elected representatives to the Lok Sabha. The party with clear-cut majority of elected members is invited by the president to form the government. So it becomes the ruling party. Clear? And that clear-cut majority is 272 or more. We know that total seats are 45. So क्लियर कट मेजोरिटी कितनी है, 272 और मोर देन दैट. सो टू फॉर्म द गवर्नमेंट बाय अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, इट इज़ एन एसेंशियल कंडीशन दैट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी मस्ट हैव 272 number of MPs with it or more than that. After this, the other parties becomes the opposition parties, the remaining parties that constitute the opposition, and the largest amongst these party is known as the opposition party, or in simple terms we can say that the second largest party forms the opposition party. Clear? But what if no party has 272 or more MPs? Then what will happen? So at times it so happens that one political party does not get a clear majority that is required to form the government. In such circumstances, a group of political parties come together to form a government. It means the largest majority party tries to seek the support of other parties to get the 272 number of MPs. And the government formed in this way by different political parties is known as coalition government, गठबंधन की सरकार. And this will be clear to you with the help of the table. So this is the table. Now these table actually shows the result of the elections that held in 2009 and one is of 2014. So first we concentrate on this, focus on this 2009. Now see, in this 2009 these are the number of the MPs. These are the number of the MPs. Now in this Indian National Congress won 206 number of seats, means the party had 206 MPs, but this is less than 272. Clear? This is less than 272. So the party is not in a situation to form the government. So what Indian National Congress will do? What Indian National Congress will do? It tries to seek the support from the other parties. Suppose from the Bahujan Samaj Party, means 21 will be added in this 206. Then it tries to seek support from the CPI, then 4 MPs, then from the Communist Party, then 16 MPs. So in this way, the Indian National Congress tries to prove the majority of 272. So in that condition, this party could make the government. So after this, now see, after this Indian National Congress, this INC made the government, and see the next largest party, which is the next largest party, this 116. This is on the number 1 Indian National Congress 206, and the second largest party is one with 116 MPs, that is Bharatiya Janata Party. So Bharatiya Janata Party was the opposition party in 2009, and Indian National Congress was the ruling party in 2009. Clear? So in this way the coalition government formed. Now look at the table of 2014. Now this is very interesting. In this table you can see that the Bharatiya Janata Party has clear cut majority, that is 282. It is more than 272. 272 से ज़्यादा है. So only the Bharatiya Janata Party is the ruling party in 2014. It did not require any other political party to be aligned with them, because this party had the clear cut majority in 2014, and it had this party could make the government without the support of other political parties. Now see the next largest party. The next largest party is Congress. Now the next largest party is Congress with 44. So in 2014 Indian National Congress will be Indian National Congress was the opposition party. So this was the relation between the majority of the representation and how the coalition government formed. I hope it is clear to you. Now to select the national government, so we know that it is one of the most important function of the parliament. So the Lok Sabha, one of the most important function of the Lok Sabha is to select the executive. Who executive? कौन है ये executive? This. The executive is a group of persons who work together to implement the laws made by the parliament. We know that parliament is the law making body जो वो law बनाती है. But who implements the law? Laws are implemented by the executive. Now who selects the executive? Till now we learned that ruling party will form the government. The government will be formed when the executive will be selected, or we can say government काम करेगी जब वो executive को select करेगी. Clear? Now we know that each party has a leader, and the leader of the ruling party is Prime Minister. Clear? He selects the executive. How? Leader of the ruling party is Prime Minister, then Prime Minister select other executive. How? From the MPs who belong to his party, the PM selects ministers to work with him to implement decisions. These ministers then take charge of different areas of government functioning, like health minister, education minister, railways minister, health minister, like this. For example, at present, Mr. Amit Shah is Home Minister. Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman is a Finance Minister. So, such ministers are executives and they are sharing the responsibilities given by the Prime Minister, or whatever the duties are assigned by the Prime Minister. So this is one of the most important function of the Parliament, to select the national government, to select the executive. So till now we are just focusing up on the Lok Sabha, because these executives also belong to the Lok Sabha. But what about Rajya Sabha? Rajya Sabha is also the house of the Parliament. So I am just briefing about the Rajya Sabha in Parliament. It functions primarily as the representatives of states in the Parliament. I told you that Lok Sabha represent people. So Rajya Sabha represents state, and the members to the Rajya Sabha are elected indirectly by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly, Vidhan Sabha, of various states, जिनको हम बोलते हैं MLAs. So we choose MLAs, and on our behalf MLAs choose the members of the Rajya Sabha. Clear? So the elections are indirect, and the functions performed by Rajya Sabha, like Rajya Sabha plays a very important role in passing the bill, and the Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation. So this is just a brief introduction of the Rajya Sabha. In the next video, I explain the differences between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So go through that video as well. Now, the next function of the Parliament, that is to control, guide and inform the government. One of the most important function of the government, we know that Parliament while in session, जब उनके सेशंस होते हैं पार्लियामेंट के, it begins with the question hour. Means the first hour of the sitting of Lok Sabha is devoted to questions, and that hour is called the question hour. So this is important way through which the Parliament controls the executives. Why? Because in this question hour, MPs can ask questions on the working of the government. This is very important way through which the Parliament controls the executive by asking questions, because by asking questions the government is alerted to its shortcomings and also comes to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the Parliament. तो जितने भी questions पूछे जाते हैं from the various MPs, by that the drawbacks or the shortcomings or the loopholes of the bill, of the laws, that can be highlighted in the policies and the programs, and in this way the government can get the valuable feedback or the suggestions as well, so that they can bring the changes in the policies and the program, so that it suits the needs of the citizens, so that the executive or the government finally can satisfy the needs of the people. And in this role the opposition party is very important, because generally the questions are asked by the opposition members, so it plays a critical role in the healthy functioning of a democracy. Now the next one function is law making. Law making, actually this is the your next chapter is totally related to the law making, but a brief introduction of this law making is that the Parliament can introduce new laws and change the old ones, like new law, like in 2019 the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act was passed, and even the triple talaq was also passed. So new laws can be introduced by the Parliament, and the parliament can change the old ones also, like earlier the citizenship act was there, so the amendments are being made in that citizenship act in 2019, and now it is called as citizenship amendment act 2019. So the old laws can also be amended, and this is the work of the parliament of both the houses of Lok Sabha as well as of Rajya Sabha. And whenever the law is first introduced, that is in the form of a bill, and a bill is the draft of a proposed law. There are three categories of bill: money bill, ordinary bill, and constitutional bill. Money bill is, as the name suggests, it's related with the finances of the country. Ordinary bill, any issue can be categorized under this ordinary bill, and constitutional bill is related to the constitution of the country. Then the procedure of the law making means how a bill becomes a law. So there are various stages in that process. The first reading stage, it is the introduction stage, where the bill is introduced by the minister. Then second reading discussion stage, where the bill is read out by the minister, and then debate and the discussion take place point to point. Then the third reading, voting stage. So at the second stage, after the discussion, if the recommendations are put forward by the opposition party or by the another house of the parliament, then after all such things, the bill is put to vote, and when the bill gets the 2/3 majority, then the bill, a copy of the bill is sent to the president for getting its assent, so that the bill can become an act or a law. So in this video we have done the role of the parliament, the various functions of the parliament. In the next video I'll take up the differences of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and that is really very important from the examination point of view. So go through that video as well. Till then, keep learning. Bye bye.